What's up, people? Welcome back to Daily Red Devil for all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk. And welcome to the latest instalment of our In-Topic Focus series, where this week we will be giving you our Premier League prediction for the 2023-2024 season. We'll also be giving our predictions for the Champions League, the Europa League and the Conference League. So do make sure to smash a like on the video, do subscribe to the channel and do get your predictions for the season in the comments section below. So starting off in the Premier League, at the bottom we've got Luton Town. I honestly think they're going to come up and go straight back down. There's not really much else to say, to be honest. I think they're going to go straight down. 19th place, we've got Sheffield United. Again, another newly promoted team. I don't think they'll have enough firepower to stay up. And I think they will ultimately finish in 19th and go down. Next, we've got Bournemouth. They managed to stay up last season and played some okay football, but I think they won't have enough for this season. I think Bournemouth, Sheffield United and Luton will be the three teams that get relegated. Moving up the table slightly into 17th place, we've got Nottingham Forest. Obviously, last season they bought, 20-odd players. This year they've just bought Elanga, and it looks like they're going to buy Matt Turner. I think they're going to struggle this year. I do, because at the end of the day, they've just been promoted. A lot of teams, they got promoted last year, but a lot of teams will have kind of figured out what their game style is this season. I think last year they got away with it a little bit because people were almost surprised by the way they played. I know they beat Arsenal, didn't they? Was it on the opening game of the season? Yeah. So I think they're going to really, really struggle this year. Moving up to 16th place, we've got Wolverhampton Wanderers. They've lost 2 or 3 of their best players, Ruben Neves, a couple of others. I think they're going to really, really struggle. And I was even contemplating putting them in the relegation positions, but I think they would just about stay up, but I think they will really, really struggle. Next up, we've got Everton. Again, another team who really struggled last season. They nearly got relegated, didn't they? I think Sean Dyche will keep them up, and I think they'll finish 15th. Moving up a bit more, we've got Burnley in 14th place. I think they played some really, really good football under Vincent Kompany. They obviously broke the points tally record in the Championship. I do think they'll stay up, and I do think they'll have an okay season, and I'm giving them 14th place. Next, we've got Crystal Palace. Obviously, they've lost Wilfried Zaha. It looks like Elise is going to be leaving as well, but I do still think they'll have enough to stay up, because Crystal Palace just have cemented themselves as a Premier League side this now, haven't they? I think they'll get 13th, and I think they'll finish mid-table. In 12th, we've got West Ham United. Obviously, last year was really, really poor from them. At this point in time, they haven't really signed any players, so there probably is a lot of concern around the West Ham fan base. But I do think they'll have a better season, and I do think towards the second half of the transfer window, they will start bringing in some more players, and I do think they'll cement themselves in the mid-table kind of position. Next, we've got Fulham, another team who had a really, really good season last year, but I do worry a little bit. They haven't really bought any players at this point. I know they're linked to some people, but I do think they'll struggle. But they will ultimately still manage to stay up. I don't think they'll get relegated. I think 11th for Fulham is a success. They've only got promoted a year before last. So I think them finishing 11th is probably a success, isn't it? But overall, they're not going to be, pushing up any higher than they were last season. 10th, we're going for Brentford. Brentford played some incredible football last year. They obviously absolutely battered us away from home, didn't they? They beat us 4-0. I really, really like the way Brentford play, and I think they will. I think they'll have a good season. I think 10th is a solid position for Brentford. Moving up into the top half of the table, we've now got 9th position, and I've gone with Tottenham. I think Tottenham will struggle again this season. I don't think they've done enough in the transfer window. Obviously, if Harry Kane leaves as well, I think they're going to really, really struggle. I'm going with 9th place for Tottenham. Moving up to 8th place, we've got Brighton. Brighton obviously had a really, really great season last year, finishing 7th, played some incredible football. Sorry, they finished 6th last season, played some incredible football. Obviously got to the semi-final of the FA Cup. I think they're going to have another good season, but I think they'll finish a little bit lower down purely just because they are in the Europa League this season. So I do think obviously balancing that Thursday and Sunday football is going to be quite a big test for them, and it's going to really, really struggle to have the same momentum to be able to press as much as they did before. Last season they played 1 game a week. This season they're going to be playing 2 games a week, so it's a big difference. Moving up to 7th, we got Chelsea. Obviously Chelsea last season were terrible. They finished 12th. I think 7th would be a success for Chelsea. That would be Europa League football. I think that would be an improvement in Mauricio Pochettino's first season. I don't think they're going to finish 12th again. That was an absolute disgrace. They will do better, and I think they'll get 7th. Moving up to 6th position, I've got Aston Villa. Aston Villa played some incredible football last season. Obviously, Unai Emery is a winner. Whether you think he's an elite manager or not, he is a winner. He's won so many Europa Leagues, and obviously they are going to be in the Conference League this season. So we will talk about our predictions for that one in a minute. But yeah, I think Aston Villa will have another good season, and I've put them in 6th. Moving up to the top 5, which is ultimately now the Champions League positions. Remember, all 5 of the top 5 teams will get Champions League football now. So in 5th, I've gone with Newcastle United. A bit similar to Villa and Brighton. I think they'll struggle a little bit because of the whole midweek and Saturday fixture, 2 fixtures a week. And I think they'll struggle to have the same momentum as they did last season. But I still think they'll finish 5th, which is still Champions League football. Going into the top 4, we've got Liverpool in 4th place. Obviously, they didn't have a great start to the season last year, but really, really picked up towards the end of the season. I think they'll be a lot better this year. Obviously, they've bought some quite good players. They've got rid of a lot of James Milners, people like that who definitely aren't part of their plans, and I think they will improve. But I still don't think they're going to challenge for the league. I've gone for 4th place for Liverpool. Now, moving on to Manchester United, the one that everybody is here for, the team we all love and support. I've gone with 3rd place for Manchester United this season. I think we will finish in the same position as we did last year, but I think our points tally will be better than last season. I think we'll get around 80 points in the Premier League this season, and I think we'll finish 3rd. I think our away form will improve. Maybe we'll turn a couple of those draws into wins, but overall, I don't think we're at a position to be winning the league at this point. Obviously, if we sign 2 or 3 more world-class players before the end of the window, this could change quite quickly. But at this point in time, considering we've only signed Onana, Mason Mount and Rasmus Højlund, I think 3rd is a realistic expectation. So I'm going for 3rd for Manchester United in the Premier League this season with 80 points. And I'm going to say that Marcus Rashford will be the leading goal scorer. Let me know in the comment section where Manchester United will finish, how many points they'll get, and who will be the leading goal scorer. Now going on to the top 2, I've gone for Arsenal in 2nd. I think, again, they'll have a really, really good season. Obviously, they just beat Manchester City in the Community Shield, but I still don't think it'll be enough for them to win the league this year. I think they'll get 2nd, and then that obviously means that the only team we haven't mentioned is Manchester City. I know it's a bit of an obvious one. I know everyone wants me to sit here and say Manchester United are going to win it, but I do just think that Manchester City are on such a roll at the moment. Even if they start the season by losing a couple of matches, they'll go on an unbeaten streak of 10, 15 matches. They do this every single season. So, yeah, it's going to be Manchester City for me. But let me know in the comment section what your predictions are. I'm going to get the table up on the screen now for anybody who wants to see a recap. So there's the table that I've put together. Moving on to the Champions League, Europa League and Conference League. I think Real Madrid are going to win the Champions League this season. I think Manchester United will get knocked out in the round of 16. I think Liverpool will win the Europa League, and I think that Aston Villa are going to win the Europa Conference League. Moving over to the FA Cup and League Cup, I'm going for Manchester City will win the League Cup, and I think Manchester United are going to win the FA Cup. I've got a good feeling this year. I think we are still going to win a trophy, but I think it will be the FA Cup this season. So I'm going for 3rd place in the Premier League, the FA Cup, and I think we'll get to the round of 16 in the Champions League. But as always, do let me know in the comment section what your predictions are. Let me know if you think that we're going to win the Champions League. Let me know what you think, because I always do love to see you guys' opinions. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Daily Red Devil. I've been Kieran. Please do smash a like on the video on your way out, and please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. Lots of love, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.